I watched the first episode of Loki about 4 times, and I had no idea what to think, but after I let everything kind of simmer, I decided that I wanted to talk about how Loki becomes a hero.
Glorious purpose.
What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. Look, this isn't going to be a review of the first episode of Loki because, look, I'm not really a Marvel Comics guy, and I can't review the episode and point out all of the Easter eggs like everybody else does. So I'm just not going to do that. But what I will do is give you a reflection after seeing the episode. And, well, to be honest, that's probably how I'm going to approach this entire series. But okay, so the first thing that stuck out to me was this line that kept getting repeated throughout the episode.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Did he say that in the Thor or the first Avengers movies?
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
I'm not going to go back and check if he did, but it's possible because, I mean, this is the Loki that comes straight out of that timeline. But anyway, look, I was really confused by the line, and he says it more than once in this episode. I am burdened with glorious purpose. I mean, if you have a glorious purpose, look, I mean, like, why is it a burden then? What I thought as the episode went on is that Mobius is slowly starting to break down Loki. Why do you like hurting people? Why do you want to be king? Loki finally gives him an answer. He doesn't actually like hurting people. He does it to maintain the illusion that he has power. Now, I remember back when the first Avengers movie came out, my kung fu teacher at the time gave me this lecture called The Trap of Power. He basically said chasing power is like chasing an illusion. You're chasing after something that will always be just beyond your grasp. 2012 Loki was given the mind gem in his scepter, and he could basically turn people into his slaves. He was taking their free will away to do his bidding, but he wasn't really in control. He was just a cog in someone else's system. He needed to get the Tesseract to open a wormhole for the Chitauri to invade, and if the Battle of New York had turned out differently, do you think that Thanos would have left Loki to rule over Midgard? I mean, he probably would, but let's remember what Thanos was gonna do. Snap half of everything out of existence. So Loki would have had half of Midgard if Thanos didn't just outright kill him, which he eventually did. And I think that's one of the things that makes Loki change. Seeing that his actions directly lead to the death of Freya, that really rocked him. He thought he was going to hurt Thor at the time, but it backfired on him. It was also because of him that Odin was basically a wandering old man up until the time of his passing. Loki got his wish to be king of Asgard for a time, but in the end, it all turned to ash and dust. This Loki, he saw all of that. He witnessed his fate. And I feel like him realizing what was meant to happen provided the opportunity for the variant Loki to have a different outcome. See, this is what has been puzzling me about this whole episode. Pay attention to the language. Ravenna wanted to reset Loki, but that one TVA guard, the black chick, she wanted to prune him. And I don't think these mean the same things. Loki has realized something is strange here. Infinity gems are powerless here, and everyone is beholden to the sacred timeline. We got a brief idea of the importance of the timeline from the Ancient One's talk with Hulk in Endgame during the time heist. What the Ancient One said is that removing an Infinity Gem creates a new timeline, but the TVA seems to say that any number of things can lead to the creation of a variant branch. The Avengers time heist was supposed to happen. Steve Rogers returning to Peggy Carter, that was also supposed to happen. I think we're going to discover that somehow Loki was supposed to become a variant, and that's why the TVA can't decide what to do with him. They're chasing a variant Loki already, who seems to be trying to eliminate the TVA, and my thought is that, well, that other Loki, he sees power in being able to control the sacred timeline. Our Loki, the hero in this story, I think he's going to realize that all these pursuits of power were really just an illusion. I think for Loki to truly embrace the idea of becoming a trickster god or a god of mischief, he has to completely abandon any type of an agenda. He has to be completely in the moment. This kind of person would not be interested in controlling time because they wouldn't truly be free. So that's how I see Loki becoming a hero. I think he's going to see this idea of the timeline and knowing that his actions are all predetermined outcomes as something he will resist by embracing this state of chaos. Like I said, being completely in the moment. The flip side is this. I think the other Loki is doing the same thing, except he either wants to destroy the TVA so he can control the timeline, or he just wants to burn it all down to let chaos loose on the multiverse. Does that make sense? We'll have to wait on the next episode, so be sure to check back after we get another piece of the puzzle. But while you wait on the next video, be sure to check out this video that I did on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But hey y'all, that's all I got for this video. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you. Always.